how would you like to make your first million? And today we have Danielle Michelle with us. And Danielle is a serial entrepreneur with a vast background from IoTech and fitness studio to being a partner in a private equity firm and CEO of multiple tax advisory firms. So, Danielle, tell us what are the 5 steps that you recommend entrepreneurs in order to make the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Yes. So to make your first million as an entrepreneur, 5 steps. Number one, I would say you need to determine your vision. Super important. What is your vision? What does it look like? You want to kind of work backwards. What is your full vision? The second thing I would say as a second step would be purpose. Figure out your purpose. What is your why? What's going to motivate you to build your vision? Why are you building it? So your purpose is going to be number two. Your third is going to be to execute. This is very important. Some of us are creatives. We're visionaries. We think about all these things, but then we don't like to implement and execute. So execution would be the third step of my formula for success to make your first million as an entrepreneur. Number four is going to be to stick with it. Very important. A lot of people will start the process, but then they'll give up when things get hard. So consistency is going to be key. So make sure you stick with it. And number five is going to be continuously improving the processes. So continuous improvement on yourself, on your business, on your employees, on your clients, on your systems and your processes. It's not a set it and a forget. When you want to make your first million, you want to continuously be getting feedback, improving processes, and expanding your growth in that way.
Become a millionaire in a tech business is easy. What do you think about this statement? Because in this podcast, it doesn't matter how much I repeat it. One out of the 500 millionaire entrepreneurs that we had interviewed so far, 1 out of 5 is a tech millionaire, tech entrepreneur. So our listeners might be thinking, oh, I want to make money. That's it. I'll make a tech business. So Daniel, tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly or being a tech entrepreneur. And okay, let's start with that.
Yeah. So if you've never made your first million before, there is nothing easy about making your first million. I will be clear on that.
I agree
Tech
with you
provides
100%. I'm cheating from you already. Well done.
Yes, yes. Now, if you've made a million before and you're starting a new business, it's a lot easier to make a million in a tech business. Now, if you've made a million, it's not that hard to make 3 million or 5 million. A lot of people get stuck at 10 million. So if you've never done it before, I don't think there's anything easy about making your first million, because you have to make sure, again, those steps that I just announced on like the 5 key steps for the formula for success, where a lot of people drop off is in that consistency, the execution, and the sticking with it, right? And continuous improvement. It's on the second half. The vision sometimes can be the easiest part because you see a potential. That's why you start a business, because you have a vision. You see a need in the industry. You see tech as a leverage, right, point, as access to be able to grow business with growing tech to make things, really relevant, next generation. But you have to make sure that no matter what type of business it is, tech or not tech, there's nothing easy about making your first million. That's the hardest million you'll ever make in your entire life.
Absolutely, I agree with you. 100% pro market fit is you have exactly what you described, Daniel. It will get tough, and then is what you have to prove yourself, especially in tech that you have to iterate and iterate and iterate or get a product market fit, and it takes time. So Daniel, because you are involved, you're an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, okay, owning one business already, a challenge, several. I've been there. Welcome to my life. You don't get bored, yeah, but
Or no
it's
boredom.
amazing. No, yeah, definitely you don't get bored. Every day something happen. Well,
Yeah.
you have several business,
Yes.
but
You
anyway,
know.
yeah. But then Daniel, I want to for our audience, I seen a problem because there are making money is not the same as keeping the money.
Mm,
And a lot of the fact that you're a good entrepreneur, that doesn't mean that you're a good investor. It's completely different. Usually, good
mm,
investors are good entrepreneurs, but good entrepreneurs are not necessarily have to be good investor because it's a different skill set, different personality, different things. So I always saying, right, or sharing this podcast that okay, if you have a business and you start to make money, okay, parallel to that, okay, because a lot of people, yeah, take all the money that they make and they reinvest in the business. Take all the money that they invest and they reinvest in the business. Take all the money.
mm,
Then COVID happened, something happened. Who knows? You need to be in business. The other day, my brother called me and told me, Harry, you're not going to believe what happened. I said, what happened? He said, have you seen the news? No. So he lives in Spain and he import a lot of decoration furniture from Asia, okay? And he have a big warehouse in Spain. And he told me, look, it was a fire 9 miles away from the warehouse. I said, okay, that's fine. He told me, no, the problem is that the wind pushed the fire out to 200 meters the warehouse. I'm like, and he told
wow.
me it went even worse because we want to go there and the fire brigade didn't allow us to go in, and we have there, a full warehouse full of valuable things. And my answer to him was like, man, you only need to be in business for this kind of thing to happen to you. If you're not in business, this crazy thing will never appear to your life. But you're in business. So sometimes, Daniel, you are on the space. So you know very well something can happen out of your control
Mhm,
and you can go to zero very quickly. So
mhm.
you have been there because clearly you have building companies, but I can see in your bio that you're an investor. So what advice, for example, I say, in my opinion, okay, if you're making money in your business, I don't know, if you don't understand how much invest, buy a house, I don't know, rent it out, and the little bit of the profit that you make, use this money for marketing, something that can give you cash flow in case that something goes wrong with your business, you have something. So what is your message for good entrepreneurs that they might think that they're a good investor, but this is a completely different ballgame?
Yeah, so from the serial entrepreneur standpoint, it's a safety measure for me. I'm a big investor in real estate as well. Like I'm a CPA, own tax firms, but I like to diversify my portfolio so that I'm never as a whole at zero at any point. So if one business, there's challenges and compromises, I can balance out with other things. So never relying on one thing. And that's what I love about being a serial entrepreneur. I've never actually cashed out in any of my real estate yet. I'm under 40, luckily still. So I have not yet cashed out on my real estate,
Wow,
but it,
congratulations.
yeah,
Brilliant.
I'm almost 40, so I'm not too long. But so I've been able to reinvest a lot of my personal funds, and I keep that rolling right now because I'm at that point where again I want to grow my empire, do all those things. But from a business standpoint, what I would say for anybody listening in is you want to be careful again, not to rely heavily on one thing. What I mean by that is you'll see a lot of companies that rely heavily on a big customer, and that's where they'll maybe start the business, they'll build it around that one customer. So if
Hmm.
something happens to that one customer, it's detrimental to the success of that business, right? Now, if you're
Mm.
diversifying your services where you're not taking all money up front for each one, maybe you have reoccurring revenue is going to be
Hmm.
very important. Subscriptions, if you're looking at tech, other ways so that you're never at a point where one trigger, one event can never take you down to zero. That's going to be the most important thing is to protect yourself by diversifying your product lines, by diversifying your tech stack, by diversifying your offerings, by diversifying your clients, strategic partnerships. You don't just have one. I don't believe
Mm.
in siloing anything. You should have multiples of everything you're doing so that you've
Yeah.
never been able, none of my businesses have, I've been blessed to say, none of my businesses have gone down to zero. It's never happened before because of that mentality,
Oh.
systems and processes, and the right people in place.
And
But I have chosen,
diversification, very good.
right, right,
So
diversification
my next
key.
question comes here, right? Which is how you learn this? Do you have your family are entrepreneur? Do you have a friend, or do you have a million setback? If you can share, because in business, unfortunately, I only learn when I when thing goes wrong. This is what, oh,
Yeah.
I have to pay attention to this. So any incident, any story that you can share with us from your life as an entrepreneur that
Yeah.
something didn't went as planned, and you said, you know what? I had to rethink this strategy because clearly I had the ability to make money. This is no problem. I can do it anytime I want. I'm a good entrepreneur. However, this keeping the money thing, I didn't know that I had to know a lot of things that I don't know. So what happened that you took that decision? I can tell that you took that decision in your life, and since then you decide to become very good at this from
Yes.
real
Yeah.
estate. So what happened?
You're right on. And it's happened more than once where I've made the decision
That's why
to,
you're so good. That's why you know a lot. It happened more than once.
yes, it's happened more than once. And they're not easy decisions to make. But I'll go back a little bit. So from my childhood, I'm a third generation entrepreneur. My family came here from Italy. They moved into New York, and my grandfathers were butchers. Like they would always own their own business. My father was he invested in like rare coins, and he had like 30 employees at one time, and he's just
Wow.
had all different businesses that he would run in addition to his rare coin business that he had for 30 something years. And there would be like restaurants one week, and another week would be art gallery, and another week would be like,
Oh, we'd be a very good friend of your dad. Yeah.
yes, yes. I mean,
That's my
my
type of
dad,
guy. Yeah.
yes, our favorite conversation
Creative,
is to
very
talk about business.
creative. Yeah. Every day an idea. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And visionary investors. So for me, it was second nature because I was never worried about like change in any aspect. I was used to a lot of turbulence, growing up. But I also
Mm-hmm.
saw things that I wouldn't do, which helped me for, again, making sure that I had that diversification, some of the things that you hit on there as
Mm.
well. So the first time that I ever had to make like a choice because the money wasn't staying in or a pivot was my one of my first physical businesses when I was like 21 years old out of college, and I opened up a
21
fitness.
years old, you
Yeah.
you be your first business. If I tell you what I was doing when I was 21 years old, partying all over Spain and London.
I know. It's so 20, yes, 21 I opened up my first physical business. I had businesses before that, but this was a fitness studio that I opened up. And when you're young, you're
A
worried about
fitness
doing,
studio? You open a
yeah,
fitness studio with
yeah,
21? Wow.
correct. Yes,
Do you
it was.
knew what you were getting into? Clearly you did. Because
I
it's
know. I
very,
probably should have been having.
very competitive space, right?
It was,
Tough.
yeah. Yes, it was. It still is. It still is. But we were bringing
Mm.
things.
Tell
We
me
were
about it.
bringing things that didn't exist yet to the market, like before hot yoga came in and like those trendy things. And we
Wow.
were we were getting certified in really. This was like 20, almost 20 years ago now. But we were getting certified in things that were not popular yet ahead of time. So it was great. But what happened was there is again, like when you're starting your first business, managing your money can be really challenging, and
Cash
every
flow.
dollar. Yeah, every dollar has a purpose, right? Like, so
Mm.
is it going to be reinvesting? Is it going to be to pay yourself? Is it going to be to try
Expansion.
to get more clients, expansion? Yeah. And what is it for? So knowing the purpose of what that looks like in the early stages is very important. Where we had a disconnect is I brought a partner on with me, and we were not connected on, we were connected on the vision. We were not connected
Mm-hmm.
on the climb, meaning like not paying ourselves, expansion. I wanted to have like 25 of these and just franchise them. She
Mm-hmm.
wanted more, just a few small towns. So I made a pivot early on in that stage to move away from it because the the processes we were putting in place didn't align
Mm-hmm.
with what my full vision
Mm-hmm.
was. We
Mm-hmm.
were not aligned on the big picture, and the counts that we were taking every day to not pay ourselves, to I wanted to hire more people, she didn't, whatever it was. I was more about like reinvesting into personnel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's where I realized there was non-alignment. And for that reason, like I left, the business. So
Wow.
remained good friends to this day. But that was the
Mm-hmm.
first time I encountered like a challenge like that where I had to make a big decision. I made a big investment. I had my
Big.
CPA. I
Wow.
was supposed to be an accountant, and I just was like, this is not for me. Instead, I'm going to open up a fitness studio. So it was a humbling moment. I felt like I had to walk back to accounting initially with my tail down because
Mm.
it looked like a failure, and I thought it was a failure then, but I
Mm.
realized it was a choice. And I'm glad I did it then. She stayed with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and it happened to you so young, right? If I
Yeah.
tell you stories, people from this podcast, I will depress you. You will ended up crying. People that what happens to people because sometimes actually I this is a question that I asked to a lot of guests from this podcast, right? Because I say, okay, if you had to start all over again, what would you different? And they always telling me culture. Harry, if I knew
Mm,
that I need to start it all over again, culture will be the thing that we pay more attention. Meaning, okay, how you bring your partners, how you bring your employees, how you bring, that if I knew that, I will make sure that the values that I have as a person
mhm,
align with the values of my business partners, with the values of my team members, with the values of my customers, so you can create something. Because at the end of the day, who are who you are, and your values are your values. And there's
right.
nothing wrong with your friend. Still, like for example, to give you an example, my company. Okay, I since I'm in business, I'm a big fan of high productivity and low staff. Okay, my first real estate business, we sell 5 million, and we were three people,
Yeah.
full time and
Right.
two contractors. Okay, so that's who I am. This is how I operate. Nothing to
Right.
do. I coach a CEO of supermarket that have 4,000 employees. For me, I'm listening this and already give me headache. That
Right.
you have
Yeah.
4,000 employees. But anyway, so the people that come to work with my company, right? I have those values that I operate like this. So there is no such a thing in my company. I never listened in 18 years an employee tell me to me, Harry, this is not my job, right? They know
Right.
that when they come, this is a 360 thing, that tomorrow we're going to do a podcast. Like this podcast, I told them, look, we're going to do a podcast. Harry, what is this? I don't know. I said, well, we don't know either. Well, he told me, Harry, 3 weeks, give us 3 weeks. And after 3 weeks, they came back and said, just touch the button, forget it. They did this beautiful background. I don't know how they did the thing they did, but they managed. So the whole point, Daniel, uh, and this is a very technical concept that you have to learn hard, and maybe you don't even know that this what happened to you maybe was a disalignment in culture and in values. Okay, nothing wrong with anybody, but so when do you learn that like you came back and you doing your CPA? So how you start to reshape, because
Mhm.
entrepreneurs, the good thing about us, we always come back in a different form, yeah. The
Resilience. Yeah.
most sophisticated form, yeah. They sort of let
Mhm.
us when we can go down, but when we come back in a different form. So tell us about that transformation specifically.
That's a great point. If we're coming back, it's guns blazing. We're ready to go. So I mean, it happened immediately. So the second I was at like a corporate job again, I started another company on the side, which was a tax firm, and I saw a need in the industry there. So that's where I said, oh, wow, like nobody's doing these tax credits that are helping businesses save money and get businesses like literal funding without taking equity. And they just don't understand the system. So there's like the research and development tax credit. There's manufacturers have a ton of tax credits that are specific by state. Anyone that's going to innovate, there's grants. And I wanted to be more of the good guy versus like, let me do your taxes and tell you what I owe. That's how the mentality started. So I started a company immediately and was very open about it with a company that I was working for. And I started utilizing that business. They had like 41 businesses, and I started getting them refunds, $500,000, $300,000, because they were innovating and creating things. And there was all these credits. What happened was I called up the big four, spoke to my connections there, and nobody could point me in the right direction. And so I said, oh, if nobody has an answer, then I'm going to create it. And that's what I did right away. As I did that, I also created an IoT business, which is Internet of Things, which is a technology, physical product, fire safety device that I brought to market in Target, Walmart, all those things. So, and
Wow,
while working a full
very
time job
impressive.
initially, yeah. Yeah, but
Hmm.
then I got out real quick and became again a full blown. It was just like a finance thing where it's scary to go back on your own, especially like, when you're at that age that you're expecting to start making salary and money and whatever it is. But I was never born to work for anybody else. So I'm meant to collaborate with others and partner, but I'm not meant to work for somebody else. So, but yeah, that
Mm.
it's
Neither
it's
do
it's
I.
been a
I can work with you, but unfortunately, I cannot work for you.
correct.
This
Yes.
is
Yes. We can do
that's
this together, but I will
yeah,
not work for you. Yes.
yeah. This is the we. somehow we become unemployable ourselves. So, Daniela, I have one question regarding corporate because a lot of people listen to this podcast, they are in corporate and they are thinking like they're listening and they say, wow, I wish that I have headquarters, right? Because sometimes in corporate, in corporate America, we're not gonna lie, they make you very comfortable, pay you good
Yeah.
money, they give you can have a good car, you can have a house, they make sure that you're comfortable, right? When they need you, right? But one day, especially when we're talking about certain age, one day they can come and say, "Well, we don't need you anymore," and then it becomes tricky because then you want to become to be an entrepreneur, and now it's a lot of things that you cannot tell. I have CEOs that come to ask me for advice. I said, "Well, you have to do a little bit more sales and marketing." They tell me, "No, Harry, this is not my job. This is not your job." The whole thing is your job. This you're not in
Right.
your corporate work anymore. This is your business. What do you mean? This is not my job. Everything is your job. You're the founder. So sometimes the transition they are more. Some people wanna be. Some people that can be amazing entrepreneurs never take the steps.
Hmm.
Other people, they are listening and they say, wow, she's amazing. I want to be like her. But then when things go tough, they say, wow, no, no, no. Let me go back to, uh, for example, I love this. This is how I started my business as well. I was I was a room service in the Hilton in London, okay, and parallel I was building my real estate business. We do rent to rent something, renting the properties and fixing them and renting again by units. It calls over there in London they call it rent to rent, right? And
Yeah.
I was building the business in the lift in the room service. All what I'm thinking is, okay, is somebody order a burger bit so for the highest floor? So when they will go to floor 20, then I'm making the phone calls. Okay, I have a room. I'm talking with the landlords. The whole business was built in the lift. So the whole point is that I love this mentality that you share. Like, okay, I have my corporate job, but parallel, I was open to in my company. I brought everything, and then parallel I build it until I decide what to do. So, what message do you have to women in corporate, men also, that they are on the edge and they don't know what to do? They
Mm.
just listening this and it's giving a watch. All what they see in you is glowing. She's amazing. Look how happy she is. She's doing what she wants. I wish, and they're still on the edge, and all they're doing is listening.
Yeah. So to start, just to be real, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It's
Mm,
not.
I agree with
There's a
you,
lot.
100%.
Yeah, there's a
We're
lot of
laughing a
people.
lot here. We're laughing a lot here because well, what can we do? But
Right. Right. There's something desirable and like lusty feeling about the way it looks from the outside, right? And it looks freeing, it looks empowering, it looks contagious, like you want to do what those people are doing. But what goes into it is very different than a corporate job. It's very, very different. And the first thing to do is to get familiar of what those differences are. You're not going to have paid time off. You are your boss. There's no way of more of like, let me ask the manager. You are the manager. You are all of those things when you're first starting. You're every single position. There's nothing humbling at all. You have to take it all on in the beginning. My advice would be man, woman, corporate would definitely be to make sure that that is for you. And the best way to do that is to prototype test the process out for yourself. Do it on the side first and see if you can get to a certain point before you just jump ship. Now, there's people like us that we knew were built, bred, made for this. So there was no other like option of maybe should I stay ever in my brain. It was just more of, again, it was a financial thing. Like, let me make some money so I could fund my businesses. And once I get it to this point, I'm out. And that's exactly why I stayed. And to learn, right? Like, and to learn, of course, to have that enterprise value experience in addition to just small business. I think it's really great to have both, especially if you want to build like a scaling business. If you're looking to scale, that's a completely different goal than somebody that's looking
tell
to
me
just
about it.
start business. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, yeah, okay. I'm glad that you brought this one scaling up, Daniel, because my first business, right, the real estate. I have 7 houses. Yeah, I was making very good money. I was wearing all the hats
Hmm.
to the point that I even left the Hilton and I have my business. 7 houses, piece of cake, a lot of money, a lot of cash flow. This rent to rent thing, you get a cash flow monthly, and then I say, okay, let's expand. And the first thing is when I expanded too fast. And I remember more than one time getting into the office with this poker face, like smiling to the clients and to the team there that everything is fine. And I only have like 10 pounds in the bank account. I'm thinking, oh my God, I have all these people are responsible for. Since God, there was a a property business and everyday rent comes, right? Those dark moments, they were I have to hold it together and keep it together, and everything happened so fast. And when you are growing, yeah, I was thinking, you see, Harry, you have a small mess here. If you expand, what you're gonna expand is a big mess. So I went into this expansion so fast, and you are a tax. And you're a numbers girl, so you know what I'm talking about. Cash flow. I was acquiring the properties faster that the cash flow can come in, and what can we rent it. A lot of money comes in the decoration. If you're taking one, it's fine, but if you're taking three at the same time, then the whole cash flow issue, and I didn't learn the lesson, so I did it again. So I have scaling up a lot of challenges and think a lot of things lesson to be learned, because I was thinking, no, if I double, I just gonna be double everything. No, it's not double everything, because 7 houses is not the same as 14 houses. Because when you have 14 houses, number one, you need a proper tax, an accountant that costs money. You need a 24/7 operation. You need the problem that the 7 houses have pros, the problem that the other 7 houses have pros, the problem that these two entities combined create that I didn't know about, that are gonna face progress, that all these so any tips for scaling up sustainable that you can share with us?
Yeah. Yeah. Scaling is a whole different beast for sure. And that's where my tax firms are at now. So I've sold businesses as well. And I'm scaling again as we speak. And it really comes down to systems and processes. So all of those things we spoke about earlier, your vision, understanding again, like your culture, like where you want to be with the business, because it gets hard. You can control what happens for the first 5 employees, maybe even the first 10. It starts getting hard at employee number 11. It gets really hard after employee number 50, if you end up
Mm,
having to get to that point. That's where it gets really challenging, and you'll see culture leaking, right? Like, meaning what you
mm-hmm,
started out where will get
mm-hmm,
diluted as you
mm-hmm,
expand, and you no longer can be the one doing everything because you have people you rely on. So it's going to come down to systems and processes, hands down.
mm-hmm,
So as painful as it is, I mean, personally for me too, as a visionary, it's funner to work on the vision. I like the people, I like the relationships, but it is so important to work within the business and also on the business, outside of the business as well. That's systems and processes, making sure that you spend time to implement those so that it is a clear delivery for hire number 1, hire number 2, hire number 50. They all are following the same exact thing. And again, that continuous improvement process is very important. So you don't just do this once. It's not a set and forget. People have to own that process, whoever it is, and that continuously needs to be updated, held accountable, and checked. So KPIs, systems, and processes, that's where you're going to go into that world versus running a business and trying to get clients.
culture leaking. I love this term, yeah, that you brought into, and let's talk a bit more about it, because Uh, and don't get me wrong, some people, I ask this question to people here in this podcast, because Daniel, when you have a starting up, and you have 8 people, 6 with you, right? These people, they will do sweats and tears with you. They have the same values. They want to sleep Monday to Sunday. They're gonna make the company. But then when you have 50 employees, you cannot expect all the 50 employees to be like this. So the culture get an evolution. Don't get me wrong. There are people in this podcast, and I ask them, what is this? And they tell me, no, Harry, the same people that I brought with A, it was with 50, it was with 200. I said, well, I don't know how you did that, but in Well, he said he did it well. It's good, right? This is how he did it. I think that that doesn't happen for everybody. I think that the culture leaking theme that you share here is inevitable because as you scale and more people come, somebody will make a mistake down the line. It happened to me, and I don't wrong with a lot of people that someone down the lines hire someone and make a mistake that the culture of the employees match the culture of the company, and then I had to personally deal with this because part of my the culture of my company is just to always don't train the person and try to make it fit and know whether the rational thing will be, you're not right fit. Try to find something else. I always try. Yeah, I fail a lot. I have to be honest. Out of 10, 20 times that this happened, I could recoup in maybe two or three. Unfortunately, the rest I tried with everything I got. It cost me a lot of money. I never could bring up. So my rate in that time when there's no cultural alignment, my success rate in education and in branding and have been very low. Yeah. So the the culture leaking, Daniel, also has to be something to do with leadership, okay?
Yes.
Meaning because, but let's face it, you sign up to be an entrepreneur, to have a product and sell it, and now you find out that when you're scaling up, it's about systems, it's about training, it's about processes, and now
Hmm.
you have to become a leader. A lot of people going to ask me, Harry, I want to attract leaders in my organization. I'm always telling them, look, in order to attract leader to the organization, you have to become a leader yourself. There is no. What do you want me? I don't have a magic one. That's the thing. You have to become a leader yourself, otherwise, leader won't come to your organization. This is how the thing works. And they say, no, but exactly. No, but I'm an entrepreneur. I sell things, and that this leadership thing is not for me. So when do you find out that, oh, this is the next step that I didn't sign up for? Okay, I didn't sign up to learn how to be a leader, to empower leadership in our organization, to be an expert in culture, to know the impact, because everybody talk about culture, nobody have the impact financially. They have culture. I know the impact. It cost me a lot of money, millions. When you have people inside and you are train and train and train, all that costs a lot of money, and at the end it's wasting. So tell us, Daniel, what is how you embrace leadership, which is something that you didn't sign up for. And yeah, maybe from your dad, you can get some reference because, as you described, your grandparents, they have like small business, right? So you can handle a small business, right? And with small employees. Your dad maybe have some employees at some point, so you saw, but you sign up for as an entrepreneur. Nobody told you anything about leadership when you joined this. And now, at the level that you are, at the moment that you described with me, looks that all your life is about culture, leadership, uh, touch,
Hmm.
move, and inspire the team to get the big vision, the result. So tell us about this.
Yeah, no, you're hitting the nail on the head. And as you were speaking in my mind, it was going straight to leadership before you said it. So we're aligned completely with that. And it's wild because something happens when you start as a small business. You start as the everything, the person that wears all the hats. You're the operator, right? You're the one on clients. You're the one servicing. You're also sometimes doing your own bookkeeping, right? Like you're invoicing and licking mail and sending it out, whatever it is, and you're doing everything. And then as you just make a decision, I want to start delegating, then you be change from just an operator to now a manager, right? Like, so you have 1 to 3 employees maybe, and you become a manager. You make sure people get their things done, and you become in a support role and a management role, right? But then when you go to scale, then that's when leadership becomes very important. You don't necessarily need leadership in a culture where it's a small business that is doing really, really well with high productivity, unless that's something you personally want to empower. Otherwise, if you have operators that are financially incentivized, well, you can have 1, 3, 5 employees and be fine. And just know ethics are important, integrity, core values for yourself. If you're the only owner, then it's not as important. But as you grow to try to plug that leak, it is extremely important that your focus shifts to leadership. Now, you asked, what does that look like, right? And how important is it? it is inevitably the most important thing that can possibly happen when you scale your business. Because what you realize that your vision is your number one, right? Like your vision is your number one. Now, in order to get to your vision, this is a crucial component in order to get to your vision. Without this, you will not get to your vision, right? So this missing piece to leadership will end up not getting to your vision. It will not be success for you. It is that important if you're planning on scaling, if you're trying to have more than one of each position, if you're looking to really, go bigger versus staying in a smaller business. So once you realize the importance of it, the mindset shifts and you realize how important it is, even though it's not what you signed up for initially. The role changes. It's an evolution when you're in entrepreneurship. If you ever say this isn't in my job description, it's something that can never ever say as an entrepreneur, because everything's in your job description, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah, leadership is one of the things, and it's a very, very important thing for those of you that are looking to scale.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story when I started my first business. You see, because you don't know what you're doing, right? I have this. Let's face it, we all have ego. We are entrepreneurs, right? We think that we can do better. So let's start from this fact that all entrepreneurs we have our ego. The problem is that starting out, you don't know what you're doing. And then I started to build this persona that, I'm the big boss. Everybody had to do what I say. I'm the big deal here just because I'm making few bucks, because honestly, it was not that much. And then, but all of a sudden, Daniel, I start to scale, and I'm thinking these people are gonna kill me. On some point, all the tenants have like 177 tenants. They all want to speak with me, right? Because if it's a property business, so you want to bring a friend. They knew that Harry was the only person that can say yes, and they will stay awake until 4 a.m. If I have 4 a.m. empty, 3 a.m. empty, my tenants will stay awake. Just 3 a.m. they will call me and say, "Look, I'm bringing my friend. Can you let me, or my mom or whatever?" So, and then because I built that culture, all the team also was asking me everything to me, and I'm thinking these people are gonna kill me when I sleep. So out of survival, I decided to start by accident to become some leadership steps. Yeah, I put a sign behind my desk that said, "Okay, if you have a question, if you have a problem, bring 2, 3 solutions." Yeah, we explore. You choose what you want. We try. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. At some point, I'm looking for the preservation of my life. I didn't care. So
Right.
look, if it works, well, if it doesn't, don't worry. We tried the other one. So I had to do that things, and this process was not pink and nice all the time. Employees took money from me, critical points, where you set back again. You say, "Well, shall I delegate and release this control so fast?" And when you don't have the right people and you have a small business, I took hit several times. So it was not a pink process. But guess what happened, Daniel? One day I arrived to the office and my manager, Eva, she told me, "Harry, go home. We don't need you." I'm like, "What?" I said, "No, no, go home. Go home. You travel the world. Don't come here. You have nothing to do clearly. And you come here to talk." And we had to span and control. So basically, the whole team, they were better than me and everything. It was amazing. Eva was coming once a month to tell me what you were doing in my business. I was so impressed. I was telling everyone, "You won't believe my manager. She's amazing. You won't believe." So we rented the room more expensive. She found better houses than me. She rented the room more expensive than me, more faster than me. She and the team, everybody was, and I was thinking, wow, how I put this off. I was actually happy. But the whole point is that, and somehow I started to realize that kind of by accident, I become a leader. And if you want to grow sustainable on a scale, if you touch, move, and inspire your team, and gradually you give them, you seize control and you drop that ego, right? You
Right.
surrender to this, then you are no, you stop to be like a small business owner, and you start to become an entrepreneur, someone that can handle, that can actually that grow. So my question to you, Danielle, this ego, you have it there. Yeah, we all have it. So, it's hard because it happened to me when an employee told me, "Look, you should do this with your business." I'm thinking, well, if you knew the whole picture, is not as easy as you think. So how have been this process for you? The transition between small business owner, more control, and that transition to, okay, if I really want to go big, if I want to fulfill my mission, uh, I have to, something within me have to change.
Yeah, no, and it's true. Ego is completely the enemy. There's actually a great book on that as well, and I've done work to make sure that like try to submiss any ego personally. I do a lot of personal development in that and
Can
in
you
that
tell us
aspect.
the title of the book, please?
It's called Ego is the Enemy. It's actually
Ah,
called
well,
that. Yeah. Yeah, that's a book
thank
for
you.
any of you that want to work on again just trying to submiss that ego and look at it from a different perspective and I'm a
Any
servant leader.
challenge? Any challenge, Daniel, that you have
A challenge on
on
for
ego, growing up, scaling up?
yeah. So when it
Especially
comes to
that you came, your first business, was a misalignment. So now you're thinking maybe it's me, maybe
yeah.
that. Now you come back, and now you need to come back strong, and now you're building a different type of business,
Mhm.
and you're coming from a space that you want to prove that you are enough, right? We all been there, but you can grow to certain level being that operating that way when you really can grow on scale is exactly what you're doing now with leadership. So how this transformation happened?
Yeah, so what I again, it's kind of like understanding your entrepreneurial style, and you have to really do the deep work to understand your core values for you as a person. In addition to the business, there has to be you have to see what alignment is very important. Like so, for me, I lead everything with authenticity. I'm a big believer in being transparent, right? Like communication is key. Making sure I'd rather be honest and lose a client than be fictitious to try to sell something for something that they are not really eligible for. That's a deal breaker for me. And that's how I lead my employees. The number one thing that you need to do is like humble yourself and realize that it is okay to hire people that are smarter than you. Like what you were saying, like people that can do things more efficient than you can. And it doesn't, and you don't need to be the know-it-all, right? On those things. It is going to
I'm actually happy. I love it. I
yes,
don't have any
yes.
problem with it. The opposite. I tell everyone.
I know this is I tell my employees, I'm like, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Just tell me where you need me and tell me what to do. Like and they're like, what? I'm like, no, I'd rather you come in and tell me what to do versus me telling you. And that's why investing in the
Wow, I
right
love this.
people.
I love this. Oh, I'm learning from you today, Daniel. Good,
Yes,
good. Keep talking.
yes,
Yeah.
and investing in the right people that are more efficient, could
Mm-hmm.
potentially be smarter than you, right? All of that is going to be paying you back in so many dividends. And then again, servant leadership for me is super important. And what that means is I never go in asking. I look to give first, right? Like, so I do think there's a trust importance with your employees. They have to know that you have their back, but they also need to be authorized and empowered to do the job that you hired them to do. They do not want a micromanager. If you hire the right person, they don't need one. But what they do want is recognition. What they do want is an ear to be heard.
Significance, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, they want to feel significant. They want to feel heard, right? They want to feel collaboration. They want to feel that they are aligned with direction. You have to empower them to do that. So I do weekly
And
meetings.
create the framework also.
Right, right. It's very important. So I focus more of my time as the CEO in all of my business. I've always been the CEO, partners or not. And
Mm-hmm.
I focus all, and this might be the last time because it's a lot of work, but I focus all of my time and energy more than anything else on empowering my team and making sure they are set up with success versus systems and processes. They are one because they're the ones to develop those systems and processes.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones
Mm-hmm.
to own those systems and processes. They're the ones to check in on those systems and processes. If they are empowered to completely authorize and own that, they are going to save you so much time. So I invest in my people and I serve them first versus, again, me being a dictator and telling them what to do.
100%, I agree with you. And I know that takes time, and we have a lot of things to do as business
Yes.
owner, and takes a lot of time. And sometimes, but the payoff is if you are really care about the team and you can touch, move, and inspire them, they will work sweat and tears for you. Like we have team members, well, our team members, if on Sunday I need something, you're not gonna believe this. They actually, yeah, I never ask sometimes on emergency, but if I need my team on Sunday, whatever, they will do it, and they're not doing it for the money. They will do it for me. They are inspired. They love what we do.
Right.
It's
That's Ellen.
the way that we do things. They learn a lot. I spend a lot of time teaching them. Right? They want to
Mhm.
learn. I say, what you want to learn? I'll teach you. What you want? You want to learn? So everyone in my organization, I want to learn. I'll teach them whatever they want to learn. It's good for me, and the ability, Daniel. So our ability is to discover the talent, develop the talent, right? It's not about I'm a big deal. It's Warren Buffett, the biggest investor of all time. When you ask him, to whom you dedicate your success, he always said to my team. He said they the big deal, right? So he said no, without my team, this won't be possible. So you cannot do it alone, and sometimes we have to reschedule because it's sad seeing entrepreneurs out there that they still that this ego component that I'm a big boss and a big deal here, and the outcome is like that, right? You go Monday to Sunday to the business, you don't have a business, you have a job, and you're stuck there, and you're trying to do your own thing and don't grow. Uh, Daniel, the last question is related with personal development. Um, People don't know because why they should know that we take more pressure than anybody else out there, right? Only I think it's 2% of us, 2-3% of entrepreneurs out there. The rest are employee, right? So nobody cares, nobody knows that we live with a different type of pressure, right? Still, my mom is asking me, so when are you gonna have a job? I said, look, this, I don't do this, mom, and she still doesn't understand why. And my dad, so they are teacher, professor, teacher. So their whole dream was that I went to university, got a degree, and find a job. Yeah, that's been the dream of my dad, the dream of my mom. They still working on this, yeah. And I went to university, give it the degree, and that's it. I never had been an engineer for a I never worked in corporate, right? In a position like that. So the when you have a setback, right, and you have been in fitness and health, so the question when you have a emotional baggage, like when you have the issue with your first business, the emotional pain, if you don't work on yourself, can become physical pain. And that physical pain can end up with a heart attack, with cancer. Some entrepreneurs can commit suicide. From this podcast, we really want all entrepreneurs to be healthy, wealthy, and happy, right? And it's possible. Yeah, a lot of people, no, this is not possible. Well, we are rooting for this it's possible, and we want everybody to be like that. So when you discover, Daniel, because I remember back on the day when I used to go to the office, I worked like 12 hours. I was the hero when I arrived to the office. Oh my God, Harry worked 12 hours without stopping. If someone comes now with a business proposal and I had to work 12 hours, and I always say, man, you crazy. The whole thing changed. I'm looking more careful what I eat. Practicing, for example, after we finish this podcast, I go to play tennis and I don't care, right? Because I need to be mentally uh, healthy in order to achieve my goals. Okay.
Mhm.
And when you are starting, you don't have resources. You have to do all this work. Then you're tired, you're stressed out, and all this emotional thing. And then on top of that, after a lot of work, you have to split with your partner. And now you need to come back to corporate. You really want to do that, and all this negativity goes into you. So, how this process from the mental health and uh, health and wellness in general because can have an impact in your relationship in your friends and the first I used to have I opened a business once, a restaurant, yeah, and it was a total disaster. I lost like 200,000 pounds, and with the restaurant I lost my girlfriend that I have there, a lot of friends. I mean, the whole package was was horrible. I'm thinking, why I mess up like this, so when something goes wrong, everybody like walk away like, whoa. And then you say, why didn't really work well. Because and you get nobody can I mean, it's difficult. The only people that can understand entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs. And so how you deal with this emotional baggage to stay positive, to have a positive mental health, and how do you know that you do have to look after yourself because you're responsible for everybody. Even I'm doing this, talking to you, I'm doing to myself as well. I have to be healthy, I have to be fit, I have to be mentally stable because I'm not only responsible for me, I'm responsible for my employees, I'm responsible for the mission and so on. So tell us a little bit more about this. You are an expert on this because you are from in the fitness space, and that was your first business. So how you handle this, and any advice, any tip for people
Yeah,
suffering now?
yeah, no, it's a very important point. Like you said, mental healthness, physical healthness. Without that, we have nothing. You can always get back money. You can never get back time. And sometimes you can't get back health, right? And when you look at studies of what makes people the happiest, like Harvard has done so many studies on just the definition of happiness, and their studies are very sophisticated. They're very long. They look at generational studies, not just one batch of individuals. And the conclusion is always the same, where relationships is what defines happiness, not the number in your bank account. Look at Steve Jobs on his deathbed. He was like one of the most hardest working, kind of cold, right? He's known by nature not to be the friendliest, but really impressive businessman that existed, right? And on his deathbed, he wrote his own poem, and he wrote his own like goodbye, and it all had to do with letting everybody know to be present, take time with the individuals. And it's very important. I actually have 3 kids and a husband, and my definition of success was I was never going to miss a birthday, I was
Wow.
never going to miss a graduation, I was
Mm-hmm.
never going to, I travel constantly, I was never
Mm-hmm.
going to miss anything that I don't want to miss, and I'm going to be present and do all those things. Same thing with relationships. Like when it comes to success and you're building this thing, you have less time to test out new relationships, I'll say. And only if you're at this point you'll get it. It might sound cold, but like when I go to social events, it's hard for me to just like, I'm very social, I love people, but to develop new friendships where it's going to be lunch, I look at everything, is this decision, either someone I want to spend my time with or something that's going to be better for business, or
Have to
both.
be very careful
Yeah.
with our time also.
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
So just setting up your non-negotiables is very important, but also staying present is even more important. So I feel better when I shut off my phone from 6 to 8 and pay attention to my significant other, and versus I feel guilt and anxiety at night when I'm just go, 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 don't stop. And I have to literally keep charts and remind myself to be present, or reach out to so and so, or call my grandma, and I feel better. I know that the outcome now, I have enough experience where the outcome feels better when I have those relationships with people. I'm happier than I'll ever
Hmm.
be in just, again, closing another business deal. So it is important to be grounded. The word balance to me is not in my vocabulary. I think it's an unachievable goal, but instead you have integration, and you have to constantly check on where you're spending your time physically, where you're spending your time emotionally. Improving yourself mentally is just as important as improving yourself from the business standpoint. That's why I mentioned ego earlier, because that is something that I've worked on
Hmm.
for a while, because I try to keep my ego at limit to none. It's,
It's a
and it's
big
not
one, the
easy as
ego
you
thing.
grow.
Yeah, ooh, it's difficult to work on that, but we have to. We have to, and we
Mhm.
have to stay healthy. So then, Daniel, last question: why you do what you do? You don't have to. You exit companies. You should be Miami Beach, right? It's amazing weather. If you see weather, fantastic here, blue sky. You don't have to. Clearly, you work because you want to, not because you have to. And this is a motto, and what we wish all our audience to achieve. So why you do what you do? Why you're not in Miami Beach with your with your husband, with your kids? You could be a whole year on holiday. So why you do what you do?
It's a great question. I love what I do. I'm
I
passionate
can
about the
tell.
game. Yeah, I'm so passionate about business. It's a game to me. It's so fun.
Kind of addicted, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It empowers me, and I think it's great lessons to show my family too, right? Like my husband stays home and helps with the 3 kids. My kids are all in school now, but watching their mom like go out and conquer her dreams is the best lesson. Then anything, in my opinion, that they could learn through education. The education system sets you up, right, to make a living. They set you up to get a salary, but self-education and experience is what makes you rich. So watching me do what I truly love to do, and if I don't want to do it anymore, guess what? I won't. And I love Miami, and I'm going to be there next week, and
Good.
I will do all of it. So I just won't
Ah,
do one of it. That's the thing right now.
exactly. It's possible to have all of it, right?
Yes.
Why you can have all the businesses, you can be happy, you can spend time with your family all in Miami,
Yes.
and we want it all, yeah. And this we're rooting for you here from this podcast, Daniel. I think you're brilliant. 10 out of 10. Yeah, fantastic. You made my day. Yeah, and now after this, I'm gonna play tennis to work my mental health. So, and the so if someone is in love with this conversation, how people can find you, how this process work?
Yes, and thank you, Harry. I've really
Pleasure.
enjoyed this conversation and
We are
learning so
rooting
much
for you
more.
here,
Yes, thank
big
you, thank
time.
you. And all you entrepreneurs out there as well. So all my handles, like between YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, everything is Danielle Michelle Ventures. The last name is Michelle, but it's spelled Michel, one L. So Danielle Michelle Ventures. You could find me on all of that. I will respond to my messages. So if anyone is looking for a resource that I mentioned or advice or whatever it is, I love getting feedback. I am a people person, so I'd love to have a conversation with you as well.
Thank you so much, Daniel. And for all of you following the broadcast, see you in our next episode of Unstoppable, how brave entrepreneurs like Daniel break the wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.